It's been a few hours now. The glue has mostly dried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I do to paint to give it the sort of grass effect that you've seen if you watched my other videos. So if it is, I check that there's no pieces of wire that's sticking out too far. If there is, I'll just cut it off or I'll fold it back and try and stick it in. So I'm just doing that now. Right, then the next thing I do is obviously paint it. Now, how I do this is I put on a bottom coat of green, let that dry, and then I put on another coat of green, slightly lighter green, not quite as thick, and finally I just dab over a yellow coat very lightly, and I'll show you the effect once I've done this of what it looks like. So quite simply, this layer here needs to cover everything. Sorry, when I say everything, I mean all of the metal that's visible. Now, the reason I chose to use metal wool is the grey colour of the metal gives the grass a bit of a depth to it. It makes it look a bit more realistic, I think, than if I just used foam. If I just use foam, I think it may not look as good. It definitely wouldn't have had the correct colours that I liked. So yeah, I'm using quite sorry, just trying not to get paint everywhere. Right, I'm using quite a thick brush. Reason for that is it makes it a bit easier to dab. You don't brush this, you dab it on. That way it doesn't create clumps of too much paint. So, right, that's one side done. Now, a few little places just to touch up. And you do want to cover everything in this paint, and don't want to leave any metal. Well, you don't want to leave any metal on the surface showing. So there we go. It's one side done. Now I need to do the other side. Let it dry. And then I'm going to use just nothing special. It's just green poster paint. That'll be a very light layer, and that's not dabbed everywhere. That's just over the place, just over a few places to give it a bit more colour. Finally, I use some yellow paint. I'll show you that later on. To do the final last bit of the details, give more of a summer look. I'll just do a little bit on the other side. Right then, that's my basic layer down. Brush out of the way. Right now then, common problem that I come up with, I've just found, and that's some of the glue has decided not to dry firm properly at the moment. So I'm just gonna push it into the wet glue. There we go, it's stuck down now. If you do find when you're brushing it that you're getting bits of the wire wool coming off, is all you need to do is just, as I did then, just push it back down into the glue. Occasionally you'll need to add more glue to fill in the gap. Right. There we go, right. So as you can see now, the green that you can see is very strong, so I've got a bit of fake light coming on, it's not really giving the proper effect. Give me a minute. That's a bit better. As you can see now, the green on the sides, it's given it a base colour, a dark green sort of colour, which I think looks really nice. Now, as you can see here, I put some paint on top of the reeds. Now, all I do is I brush it with my finger usually. Main reason that it should be a bit more delicate. Just brush it around to remove the look of it. Nothing wrong with having green tips on your reeds. It makes it look slightly more realistic, but you don't really want too much green. Alright then. Okay, so now I've got the reason that, as you can see, some of these plants, I've done a very slight alteration to the colour of them, as you can see just there. When I've finished, that will stand out a bit better and won't look quite as plain, best word I can use. So yeah, that's the base layer down. As I said, then you add more colour and you build it up until you get a nice look. So when you've finished, you get something like this. As you can see, there's dark green gaps, lighter green patches dotted all over, and then the yellow obviously right on top. Now, when the camera isn't picking up very nicely, but yeah, the camera doesn't pick up nicely enough. It does look quite good in the camera. It looks a bit sort of clumpy. But if you come and look at individually, you can see it's sort of more over each clumps almost, instead of one nice, well, mould. So yeah, this is the final look which I'm looking for to carry on down at this end. Now I'm going to have to stop the camera in a minute and go away again for about half hour till that glue's dried, at which point I will be coming back to paint on the next two layers, and I'll show you the colours I use and exactly what I do. Alright, it was yesterday that I stopped the camera, and now I've started again obviously next day. So overnight is what happened is I let that glue dry and then I've just come along and painted over it with the yellow and the light green. Exactly the same technique as last time, but not as heavy covering. And the last thing I did was I just got a piece of old sponge and dabbed the surface gently to remove some of the paint where there was maybe slightly too much. And it's left this effect, and as you can see on the camera, which hasn't picked up very clearly, I remove it from the stand. As you can see on the camera, it's got this quite nice effect to it, of sort of a yellowy, summery sort of grass. And that's gone all the way along on both sides now. So basically that is the river scene complete. Now the glue you see down there is because when I had a look at it just a minute ago, I noticed that the level of the surface of the water was too low compared to the level beyond. So is what I decided to do was to fill it up to the bridge, because any further than the bridge it seems to be alright. You can't really tell the height difference. So the glue is going to hopefully set nice and hard by tomorrow, and then I will add a little bit of grass scat over the top of it, and that will cover it quite nicely and neatly, and it will give the sort of surface of the river finish that I'm after. So yeah, that there is the river scene complete. Now, obviously throughout the rest of my videos, I will be doing some more updates to this. For instance, I've got to do the stuff painting on the right hand side, filling grass on the left and right hand side. Obviously got a road bridge over the top, and I've always got to attach the track down. At the moment that's all wet, so I can't put the track on anyway. On top of that, I may be adding a tree or so at the far end, something like this, a bit smaller maybe at the far end, and there's a few other little bits that I'm sort of thinking about adding. Now, if anyone's been watching the whole series, you'll know at the moment I haven't got enough track to complete the layout. Hopefully that's going to change by tomorrow or the day after. I've brought some track. I've brought all the points I need. I've brought all the radius 1 corners I need. and there's not much else for me to add other than the only thing I haven't got is the track for going underneath. Over on this baseboard here, where the second station and work area is going to be, I haven't quite got enough track yet to do the underside and join it back up, so it's what it will probably be is the circuit, or the circuit track will come around and back underneath, and then I'll have a bridge going across there, and just having this as a yard, possibly with the track added on to go down the bottom, but that's all coming tomorrow. So I say thanks for watching. If you've just turned on to my channel just to watch this little video series, then please check out the rest of my videos on my layouts, my update. Also see how I built the first part to my layout. That's sort of I think it's quite interesting. A few nice comments and stuff. I'm also going to be doing a few more videos on wagons, reviews and little things like that. Hopefully I'm going to be getting some more coaches, wagons and locos, and I'll be doing reviews on those as well. They won't be very professionally done. I'm not professional. So yeah. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments about this or any of my other videos, just leave them on the comment section. And please subscribe to my channel.